Girl, that's a booty hole.
Girl, that's a booty hole. Now set the scene.
Girl, that's a booty hole.
Now the other scene.
Oh, bedroom. Clothes slowly coming off. Marvin Gaye playing.
Ooh.
Who's that at the door? Barney. You weren't supposed to be here yet.
Barney the
in.
dinosaur?
Yes, he comes in. And then what's his song again?
I love you. You
yes,
love me.
Love me. We're all one big family? Something like that? I don't know. He starts singing and I just melt by his melodic voice. And he comes up and he whispers, the next words are yes,
Your next words are yes, sir.
Or have you forgotten?
No.
Yes, sir. Now ass up, baby girl.
Now ass up, baby girl.
And that's Barney.
Okay, well, I hated that, and I'm recording, so that's good.
Okay, this is your dream journal I'm reading, though, so obviously you were thinking about it.
No, it's just my regular journal.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is my to-do list. Oh, whoops.
Oh, whoopsie daisies. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome back to another lovely episode of What Did the Gays Think? Today is February.
Isn't it lovely?
Yeah, of course it's well. This one might not be lovely, but we'll see.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of What Did the Gays Think? Today with me, I of course have the magnetic and the seductive Pat. How you doing, Pat?
I was trying to make a magnet joke, but I lost it, so I'm fine.
Well, maybe you should find it. Maybe it's on the fridge.
I got it. I was gonna be like, because magnets have poles, north and south. I'm like, I'll be your North Pole attracted to your South Pole.
Okay.
I have to workshop it. It wasn't obviously well constructed.
No, it was good. It was good. I get it.
Yeah. Like your South Pole, like the penis.
Yeah.
I'm attracted to it because I'm a magnet.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that magnets kind of go ass to mouth?
All right, now we're done talking about this. What do you mean? What do you mean magnets go ass to mouth?
Because if you think of the north face of a magnet being like the front face, and the south face of the magnet that it's attracted to is like the back end of that magnet, like the ass of the magnet, they always go ass to mouth.
Ah!
You can't go ass to ass or mouth to mouth because they'll repel each other.
My scream just now went like the little audio bar. It went all the way to the top and it was like, stop screaming into the microphone. Oh my God. Anyway, we're going to be doing something fun today, Pat. Something that you know what we're doing, but...
I do. No surprise here.
Yeah, we're going to be taking the political compass test live on the podcast. Well, live as in recorded on the podcast so that we can go through it together. Aww. Isn't that so sweet?
Hand in hand.
So this test, I've seen a couple of videos of people doing this test like on stream, and I think it's pretty fun because they go through each question and they give their commentary. So I think it'd be fun for us two gay men who are very clearly liberal leaning to go ahead and take this test.
Who the fuck's gay here?
Me and you. Don't even try me.
I couldn't keep a straight face. I'm sorry.
Get it straight.
Oh God. Ooh,
show me your best gay face.
You want to see my gay face? Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Let's
see my gay face.
Patrick.Fardella.
Patrick, just my whole full name. No secrecy, no illusion, no nothing.
Oh my God. All right, well, let's go ahead and take the test. So the way that we're going to do this is you have it up, right, on your screen?
Yes, it is up.
And I have it up on mine. And let me go ahead and move our scene over. Here we go. So now, if you're watching the YouTube video, you'll see both me and Pat. And then I have the screen share up so that you can see the test on my screen. But it's just my screen, so you won't see Pat's screen. But the way I wanted to do this is we'll read out each question one by one, and we won't discuss it. We'll both input our answer into the test, and then we'll talk about what we put and why we put it after each question. Do you agree with this methodology?
Sorry. Oh, sorry, the water didn't go down right. I'm totally on board for this. I'm excited. You know what's funny? You mentioned this to me, and my phone heard you. Oh. And I was on TikTok, and I saw a video of someone reacting to someone else taking this test.
Wow.
So, Big Brother's always listening.
Oh, my Big Brother. Wow.
Yeah.
We are distantly related, so...
if you insist.
Anyway, so the first question on this political compass test, to test, where we are in the political spectrum, if economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. So I'm
France.
going to
Mm,
input my answer.
mm, mm, mm.
Did you input yours?
Oh, this is gonna take forever. Yes, I inputted mine. I
Well,
did.
we'll
I
we'll
did.
speed it up as we go along.
Oh,
I
okay.
put I put strongly agree on this one. What'd you put?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I think, uh, some of this is going to be no surprise here,
Yeah,
Obviously, I'd rather it support humanity. Humanity needs to survive for there to even be a government, even for there to be a society. So yeah. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know exactly what they mean by economic globalization. I'm assuming it means that like the economy is global and everything kind of moves in
Yeah.
a global fashion instead of the individual economies working individually.
Yeah, no closed door policies here.
Yeah.
China.
China, I would definitely agree that it should serve humanity rather than corporations,
Mm.
as I would always believe. I'd
Yes.
always support my country whether it was right or wrong.
This is the
um,
actual question I saw on the video on TikTok, and it was hilarious.
I got my answer.
Well, I mean, what was yours? Because I think I know what it was.
I put strongly disagree.
Of course. I mean, like, this government's stance on the COVID pandemic initially alone is enough for me to say strongly disagree.
Yeah, and I also don't. I'm not a big nationalist. I know America's all about like America first, and we're all great on nationalism. It's all great to be patriotic, and I'm not that patriotic. I think America is not as amazing as we make it out to be.
Drag him or her, drag it.
Drag the country.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between patriotism and nationalism. I don't think either of them are good, but I think there is a difference, and I think that America has problems with both of them.
Yeah. So if my country did something wrong, I would definitely not support it.
Yeah.
Anywho, no one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it.
Well, I mean, points were made.
You know what? I have to think about this one. No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Hmm.
I know what I think about it.
Okay. Well, what did you put?
I agree.
Okay. Why do you agree?
Um, the way that the question is framed, it's talking about just birthplace. Yes, if you're proud of it because you were raised here, that's something that I don't think is right because it's just a happenstance of location.
Hmm.
If the question was framed, I'm proud of the way my country does X, Y, and Z, then that's something completely different. Because obviously, let's say your country is like super big on green energy,
Hmm.
then I would be proud of that. I'd be like, wow, look at my country pushing forward for like air, renewable energy, whatever. The way this question is framed, just on birth alone, I don't think you should be like, "Hey, I was born here. I'm proud that I was born here." Like your birth was just because your dad knocked up your mom. Like,
Right. Well, I put disagree. Just because I don't think it's foolish to be proud of your country, even if it's just where you were born. Kind of like
right.
what you said. If your country's doing something good, you could be like, "Hey, look at my country! Like I'm proud of this." Obviously, um, I didn't put strongly disagree. I just put disagree because I think people can find too much pride in their country,
Yeah.
and I don't think that that's a good
Wow,
thing.
look at us already fighting. I love
Yeah,
it.
I mean, this is why we're not dating.
Well, that and, other things.
Other things. Anyway, our race. Oh no, our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. Well,
As a biologist, I already know.
oh well, I put strongly disagree. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
there's not much there. I'd say anything other than strongly disagree would be racist.
I think if you want to make the contrarian point and say that white people are or do have qualities that are superior just because of white, privilege, then fine.
Okay, but that's not like
I know that's
I
not how
I
the
get what
question's
you're
framed. I
saying.
know, but that's the only instance where I think that question could be perceived that way and it be agreed. Because obviously, with white privilege, you do benefit so much more than other races. But since this is framed as just superior qualities, like What? Pale skin? Ew. I
Ah.
hate pale skin.
Yeah. Well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Not necessarily.
Well, so
Like, oh,
so I put disagree. Not strongly
yeah,
disagree because I'm not sure, but I don't think the enemy of my enemy is necessarily my friend because it depends.
yeah,
I mean, it depends on the situation.
yeah. Because like two, you could have two assholes in front of you, and they could be assholes for different reasons, and you can hate both of them.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
So
I can hate. So I can hate a Republican, and then other Republicans can hate that Republican.
yeah,
But I hate both of them. That neither one is my friend.
but I hate all Republicans. So honestly, it's not even worth getting
Ah!
into.
No, I don't hate all Republicans. It depends, but um,
Not hashtag not all
hashtag
Republicans.
not all men. Anyway, military action that defies international law is sometimes justified.
Oh,
Hmm.
I mean,
All right. I
like
put my
what?
I put my answer.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, I picked one.
All right. I put agree. Um,
Yes.
I think it can be justified sometimes, being that it says sometimes in the question.
Yeah.
Um, I think if there is a nation that is committing atrocities left and right,
Yeah.
like genociding people, like like the Holocaust. I think that, like, I don't know what defies international law. I don't really know what they're talking about there. Um, but if the international law is like, don't declare war on other nations or don't do crazy things to other nations, I
Yeah.
think it depends on what the other nation is doing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, any sort of atrocity. Like if, for example, if there was an international law of no flying over this area,
Hmm.
but the country that was under that area of no flight was like mutilating people in the streets, I'd be like, you might want to fly over and like
Mm.
do something about it.
Yeah, check
But
it out.
I think the word sometimes, you know, is very important there in that question.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment.
You better work, bitch. Yeah, I strongly agree with that, I
I
feel.
I also strongly agree with that.
Look at Fox News.
Oh, Fox
It's
News Entertainment.
entertainment.
Yep.
It's Fox News entertainment. That's exactly right.
Just look at everything that Trump did in his presidency, and I mean,
Was it entertaining?
he's a reality
It was
star.
worrying.
It
It
was
was
worrying.
worrying.
It was worrying. Anyway, next page.
Hmm.
Now the economy. Oh boy, gotta love the economy. So I don't know a lot. I'm not an economist. Um,
Really?
yeah. I'm a data scientist, but that doesn't mean I know anything about the economy.
Hmm.
People are ultimately divided more by class than by nationality. Ooh.
But
Mm.
here's the America does both very well. So
I mean, ooh. I wish there was a neutral option.
because you know that like a lot of people in the lower class levels, if we have to talk classistly, like people who are, lower than middle class, below the poverty line, a lot of them are disproportionately people of different nationalities other than white. So like it's yes to both.
I think it's both. I put agree simply because, well, here's what I think. I think that our nation, as it has grown, has purposely driven people of color into poverty, and that's
Oh
and
yeah.
that's why people of color are below the poverty line. Um, and nowadays, there's obviously, here's my finger. Yes, I'm pointing. There's obviously discrimination in who can get certain jobs because obviously a lot of people are racist and will choose the white person over the black person or the Mexican person or etc.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, I do think it is a lot harder to get out of poverty if you are in poverty. And in my mind, that might be slightly more than what's going on with racial tensions today. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle.
They go hand in hand. So like I feel like you could make arguments for agree or disagree. I don't think you should do the strongly agree or disagree because of
No.
how hand in hand these two issues are.
Yeah, I think it's kind of. I wish there was a middle because that's where I would be.
Why don't you just meet me in the
In
middle?
the middle. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. See, this is where my knowledge of economy is like, I don't know what's more important here.
Um, I know what I'm gonna say.
I have to think about it because, I mean, I know what inflation unemployment is, but I don't know what's more important in terms of controlling it and what would be better for the country.
Hmm.
Hmm. I'm going to say disagree.
I strongly disagree.
Oh, really? Why do you strongly disagree?
Because I've been looking into, I haven't done a lot of research, but I've been like dipping my toe in, just see, testing the temperature
Hmm.
about what happens if you start putting money into the economy, like just printing more money, and like what that does to the actual dollar value, and
Right.
what that does. Now, there's an argument to be made of how it works with the global economy, but I'm talking about like just in our continental, in our own country. Um, and I've been seeing a lot of information that suggests that it's okay. I would much rather have um, an inflated economy with like, more excess money that might dilute our global value of the dollar if it means that more people are able to contribute to the economy.
Hmm.
Because I think that if you wanted to recover from that, it's easier to do it when you have more people actually playing into the economy. If you have a super high unemployment and then you have economic problems, it's even more difficult to get out of it because people can't contribute to the economy. So you get things like, recessions or depressions. So
Yeah.
I think that it is much more important to control unemployment than inflation because you'll always at least have people who are able to contribute.
I agree with you for the most
Thanks.
part. I do think it is important to control inflation too, because even if you do have people that are employed, but the dollar is too inflated, then those people might be making, let's say the minimum wage is $15 an hour. If those $15 don't,
I wish.
if those $15 are not actually $15 as we understand it now, then
Yeah.
those people can't really contribute as much. So I think there's a line there, but I definitely am on the disagree side on this
Work
question.
on this question.
On this question, because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. Um, I strongly agree.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt there.
Yep. It obviously depends on the corporation and the people running them, but my mind is that CEOs are greedy and they will not voluntarily protect the environment because they only care about themselves. That's what capitalism is. Um, Moolah. From each according to his ability to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea.
Um,
From each according to his ability to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea. I don't really know what this means. I'm trying to
does it
read
mean
it.
like I think it means like wait, my brain stopped. Oh, I think it means like each person should contribute what they can in terms of their ability, and each person should receive only what they need and not excess of what they need.
Um,
I don't know if that's true. In terms
I
of I don't know if my description of that is true.
I also don't really understand what this means. I'm just gonna put disagree because because I don't really know.
uh, uh from each according to yeah, I don't
Someone tweet at us what this means or leave a
yeah,
YouTube comment.
drag us afterwards. Sorry, I
Drag us
don't.
afterwards if we don't. I don't really get that. The freer the market, the freer the people. Um, yeah, yeah, I agree with
No.
that. No,
No. No. I mean, I'm not strongly disagreeing, but I I don't know because we technically have a quote unquote free market.
well,
And well,
as
we
we think we have a
advertise
free
it.
market.
We advertise it as that. And right now, because free market's based on the idea that everyone can play into the economy, right? That everyone everyone can if they have like the monetary value to do so.
Well, yes, but then you get the things that happen with like, the whole GameStop thing happened, and then all these apps were slowing down, like saying you can't buy
Right.
these stocks anymore.
So just because you have a free market doesn't mean you have a free people because there are so many people who can't even play into the market because of the fact that they are, racially biased against or economically like classistly biased against. They don't have the funds, the money to actually do it. So I don't think that a free market is a litmus test for how free the people are. That's why I'm disagreeing.
Oh, you think that there are two separate things?
I think there's some crisscross applesauce.
Crisscross applesauce.
But I think they are two different. They're two fundamentally different ideas.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. It's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product. I put strongly agree.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Actually, well, yeah, I strongly agree to that. Yeah, no.
Yeah. No, I put
Um,
strongly agree because I I'm under the belief that anything that is necessary to live should be free. That's at least
yeah,
my belief. So food, water, housing, in my mind, those three things should be free. Obviously, we'll never reach that in a capitalist society. So
no,
GG.
no.
But that's just my firm belief. Like we should all get food, water, and housing for free.
Firm.
Firm.
It is my flaccid belief.
My what? Yes. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold.
Well, tell that
Hmm.
to the indigenous people who we robbed.
Ooh, ooh.
Oh,
um,
oh.
so I'm gonna put disagree here. I don't know what you're putting.
Like, I think some land should be controlled because of the environmental impact of certain things. So I'm going to disagree. Because certain like federal land for like parks and shit needs to be controlled because we need to preserve our wildlife. And the land that like let's say a factory has needs to be controlled so they don't overpollute the area. So like but then what about fracking pipelines?
Oh, well, so the reason I'm saying agree is because I own this plot of land that I'm on, and if I want to sell it, then I can sell it. But
Hmm.
obviously there also needs to be other land that shouldn't be bought and sold because it's like economic, environmental
Hmm.
conservation and things like that. So I'm kind of in between, but I think generally, land can be sold and bought.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, and it depends on who buys it. Like you don't want to sell out a huge chunk of a preservation to a corporation because you know exactly what they're going to do with it. Um, it is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. I'll take a
That
strongly agree
is
on that.
that is regrettable.
It is regrettable.
Um,
I'll take a
yeah.
strongly agree on that. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. I do not know what protectionism is. Do you?
Hold on, I'm just gonna Google that real quick.
Yeah, just give us a Google right there.
Protectionism. Protectionism, the theory or practice of shielding a country's domestic industries from foreign competition by taxing imports.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
Okay, well, I feel like you want competition though,
Um, I think it
right?
does. See, again, the reason I'm putting agree here is because of the word sometimes in this sentence here.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I do think it depends. Sometimes it can be necessary if a foreign country, if you become too reliant on a foreign country's materials, that could be bad.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so I do think that imposing some tariffs to encourage America to have its own kind of industry in that area can be a good thing. Um,
Mm,
so I'm gonna put agree because of the sometimes.
yeah, I think that's good, yeah.
The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders.
Mhm. I love
Um,
how they specifically say social responsibility. That's 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 it right there.
social responsibility of.
No.
Okay, when you say social responsibility, then I change my answer. I'm strongly disagreeing now. I was already disagreeing.
Yeah, but now I'm like, no, no, you have a responsibility to the society that lets you exist as a company. You should have a more of an obligation to give back to your society than
Yeah, and I think it has to be in different forms. Like you also need to have a public image that you attune to be I want to say politically correct, but
Hmm.
you shouldn't be going around making racist comments as a company. Like you
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't like that. I don't like that at
don't like
all.
that. The rich are too highly taxed. We're gonna put strongly disagree on that one.
Do we even have to talk about that? I think that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. Um,
No.
I put strongly disagree.
Yeah, I mean that's classist,
That is
and
classist.
I don't like it because
Everyone, I think that everyone should have access to the same uh, levels of medical care.
yes, 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 yes.
Anywho, governments should penalize businesses that mislead the public.
Mm. Like
I
my pillow, like my pillow.
Oh, what did my pillow do? Oh, you
The,
mean about
the,
the
C,
election?
the CEO of my pillow kept giving out that information that the election was rigged.
Oh, I was thinking. Okay, so the way this question is, I was thinking it means like about their products or about the services that they provide. If you mislead, then you should be penalized, and I put strongly agree for that. But also, yeah, doing things like claiming the election was
Yeah,
fraudulent is also bad.
and then I think they're getting sued now. My pillow.
Good. Um, anyway, a genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm putting agree on that.
I yes. You
Yeah,
don't want you don't want to monopolize something. Well, we don't want people to monopolize something because then it makes it harder to for us to get lower rates or different more competitive rates because there's no competition.
yeah. Oh God, I scrolled to the next page.
Oh, I just see abortion.
mm. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal.
Well, I know what I'm putting.
I put strongly disagree.
Yeah.
Cause,
Because
do we even have to say why? I mean,
no, her body, her choice, honey.
yeah, obviously it depends on the woman's situation, whether or not she wants the child in the first place, and if you're getting rid of a bunch of cells that are just forming, then who cares? Anyway,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
ooh, all authority should be questioned. Um, I'm gonna strongly agree with that one.
I do as well.
Yeah.
I've read 1984. I know all authority should be questioned.
Oh, I have not read 1984.
It's not that good.
Oh, and I oop, hot
No,
take.
no offense to who wrote that?
I don't know who wrote
George
1984.
Orwell. George Orwell.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
No.
Yeah, I put disagree. Not strongly disagree, but I put disagree.
Yeah.
Um, and that's because this is under the assumption that everyone deserves what they dish out, basically.
Hmm.
And I don't think that's true because, again, it depends on the situation.
An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind, and a tooth for a tooth leaves the whole world chewing, mush because they can't break things with their teeth
Yeah,
anymore.
maybe you shouldn't fight fire with fire. Anywho, taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. Ooh.
This is topical because the movie theater industry is in peril.
Oh.
Um, and I think they should have a government bailout. And if part of that bailout is kind of recuperated through taxpayer money, I think I do like bailouts in some scenarios. I do. Corporate bailouts, Wall Street bailouts, not so much.
Mm,
Not so
yeah.
much.
So
But
yeah,
the
I
things that contribute to the culture of society, that kind of better society through art, media, that kind of thing, like theaters, I think those should. I'm going to wait. Disagree.
yes, I also put disagree.
Yeah. Next question.
Oh, okay. Next question. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. I'm assuming that means mandatory,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Compulsory mandatory. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, you
Wait.
don't?
Wait. Yeah, I don't. I think they should be compulsory
Oh, why do you think that?
because I I don't want a dumb society.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm of the mindset that schools should, in America at least, last longer than they do,
Oh
and
wow.
like in terms of the days of the year, and sometimes in terms of the day length of how long class goes, or you can shorten it, increase the number of days, whatever like would work. But I look towards, like other countries' school systems, particularly Japan's school system, and I think it works. Um, they have longer years. They have sort of like these more consistent consistency between their years in terms of their classes, and I think that when you don't have a society that's educated, you get a lot of these problems that we're seeing today. So if you make attendance compulsory, you get people who are experiencing education. Now, is that education always good? No, because we have a lot of underfunded schools and a lot of underfunded areas. But I think the first step, or one of the first steps, is to make sure that everyone is getting education. So you got to make it compulsory. It doesn't have to be at
Hmm.
like a school that like is like, like you could do a trade school too. You don't have to, there's different types of education, but it should be compulsory to learn something.
Hmm. So the reason I put agree here, and I wasn't thinking like elementary school. Like if you're in elementary school or something like, those lower level grades, then yeah, go to class. Like, yeah, it could be mandatory there. But I'm thinking more like high school level, college level classes. And there's just some people that do not do well in a lecture setting. And there's also
True.
bad teachers. Like you even said, there's
Of
some
course.
underfunded schools. The teachers might be bad. Some people learn better on their own, and in some classes that I've taken, I have learned more from reading the textbook than I have from listening to the teacher. So, and some of the classes, I'm just like, why am I here? Like, I've learned this, or I can learn this on my own. Like, I don't need to be here. So,
Right.
I'm in certain instances, I think that you don't need to go to class.
Yeah, I read this not as like college. I read this as like primary, secondary school, like getting all the way to high school.
You
In
probably
which
made the
case,
correct assumption there.
I mean, I don't know, because I don't know how classes this is, because going to college is a very privileged thing. But um, I think for at least those early years, you just need to go.
Yeah, yeah. Anywho, all people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind.
Oh, what
Hello?
did?
Ah!
Oh, a Nazi wrote that.
What? Okay. Anyway, good parents sometimes have to spank their children. Hmm.
Oh, I have this whole thing against child abuse. I strongly disagree.
Ooh,
I
okay.
don't even care if it says sometimes. I can't. I have no tolerance for people who hit their kids.
Hmm.
No tolerance. I don't give a flying meandering donkey fuck what the opinion of the parent is. I don't like it. Um,
So here's
yeah.
I actually put agree. You put strongly disagree.
Yes, I did.
I put agree. And this is because I think that children sometimes need to be disciplined.
Right.
Not that you beat the shit out of them. No, obviously don't
Yes.
hurt your child. But if it's something as simple as spanking or something small, like I do think that sometimes kids need to be disciplined.
The question is, I don't think the question is discipline. Yes, all children need discipline to learn. The question is, does pain have to be associated with the discipline? Because the reason people hit their kids out for discipline is to associate an action with a negative response, which in this case is pain.
Hmm.
So the question is, are you okay with hurting your kid? I know people want to use the words like spank and slap because it's soft, but in reality, the end of the day is the reason the kid is learning is because you're putting them in pain and they go, I don't want to be in pain again. I'm not going to do what I did. Is it effective? Absolutely, because pain is something no one wants to be in. As a person who wants to have kids, maybe, I could never imagine knowingly putting my kid who I would love, something that's like my offspring, in pain. Like, I don't like it. I don't know how a parent could look at their child who they've lovingly raised or they're trying to lovingly raise and be like, I I'm the adult here. I don't know how to deal with this, so I'm just gonna smack you because I can't think of a better way to do it. And I don't understand. Like, I don't like that. I don't. I think it's weak on the parent. The parent, what, who has the higher level of intelligence, can't rationalize. oh, my child doesn't understand it because they're a fucking baby. Like,
That,
of course they don't
you're
get
not,
what they did wrong.
yeah, you're not gonna spank a baby. Like I think it
Well,
also depends on their
fine.
age.
A 4-year-old doesn't understand certain things because they're too smooth-brained.
Smooth brained.
Like, but as an adult, I know that the 4-year-old doesn't get it. I know that I can have alternatives to discipline.
Oh yeah, like I think spanking is not my first go-to in my thoughts of
Well, in
punishments
your
in the
bedroom it
bed.
is.
No, in my realm of punishments, it would have to be something bad enough to warrant a spank, as opposed to taking away a toy or throwing them in the pen or something. Like it would have to be in. I would obviously move to something else first, but the fact that this has sometimes, again, is the reason I put agree there.
I told my boyfriend that if we have kids and he hits them, I'm gonna hit him in front of the kids.
Ooh, do it.
Yeah. He didn't like
um, it's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. Um,
that. I
yeah,
strongly
I
agree.
put strongly agree. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. Oh god. We just talked about this. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. Yeah,
Yeah.
strongly agree. Um, the prime function of schooling should be to equip the future
Hmm.
generation to find jobs.
Hmm.
I'm going to put strongly
That's
disagree.
I just disagree.
Oh, okay. Well,
But I think with similar reasons here.
I think that it is not only just to find jobs.
Yeah.
Um, because if it was just to find jobs, I think it would be more tailored to real world
Yeah.
functions as opposed to learning
Yeah, I
math
wouldn't be
and
learning about
literature.
Mesopotamia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's teaching people how to have critical thinking skills, being able to make
Mm,
proper decisions, and that's not always to equip someone to find a job. Um,
mm.
it's when you go to the voting booth and you decide who to vote for, make sure that you're voting for the right person.
Yes. Yes.
Anywho, but also obviously other life skills besides just your job.
Yeah.
Next question is: people with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. Hmm.
I don't. I don't agree with that.
That's a
Um.
rough question right there. I'm gonna put disagree. Um,
Ew. I'd
I
put strongly disagree.
I get what they're saying. Like they're saying serious inheritable disabilities, so they're saying that they shouldn't reproduce to continue that disability to their children. I get
Yes.
that, but like, I think that the person also should have their own choice on whether or
Yeah.
not they want to reproduce.
Like
So,
if they find a mate who's okay with it, then all right.
yeah, like go ahead as long as you know that that child might also have that disability.
Because here's the thing. This comes up with HIV. It's a serious inheritable disability. Are you saying people with HIV cannot reproduce, even though nowadays, if you're undetectable, you can have a baby that doesn't get HIV? But regardless, I think government or whoever should not modify, should not regulate the gene pool. All right,
Right.
it's not up to them.
All right. Let's go through some of these a little bit quicker because I think we're at 40 minutes and we've got
Oh, we
plenty of
have
this
quite
test
a
to go.
few. Yeah.
Yes. Let's do a lightning round. The most important thing for children to learn to accept is discipline.
No.
I disagree. Oh no, I strongly disagree. Hell no with that. There are no savage and civilized people. There are only different cultures. Um,
I
I
agree.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. Hmm. um, those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. Okay,
Oh.
I'm gonna put agree. Um,
Oh.
and this is because it's saying people who are able to work, so you have the opportunity to work, but you don't.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm saying agree here.
I agree with your agree.
Wow.
The next question now.
When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. Oh, I can agree in some certain circumstances, but I'm going to disagree for now.
Strongly disagree. Mental health. Come on. Come on.
I do think that if you're upset about something, distracting yourself with happy things can be a good thing sometimes. I obviously
Okay,
think it's better
fine.
to deal with that, deal with your troubles instead. So I'm going to put disagree.
Yeah.
First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country. Ah!
No.
No, get out of here. What's good for the most successful corporations is
No.
always ultimately good for all of us. No, shut
No, no,
up.
no, 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 no.
No broadcasting institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding. Ooh. Hmm.
I I disagree because this question predicates that it would what, get federal funding?
Um,
Like how
broadcasting.
who's funding it if it's not publicly funded?
Well, if you're a broadcasting institution, you would likely be funded by advertisements that is on your broadcasting.
Everyone has an agenda, honey. Everyone.
Everyone.
So I don't think you can really regulate this.
I'm gonna put disagree on it,
Same.
because if there was a publicly funded broadcasting institution, I feel like that might be better in a way than some of these other
Isn't
ones that are kind of funded by corporations. I don't
isn't that
know.
PBS? Isn't PBS public?
Oh, it might be. Um,
I don't know.
Anywho, next page are and how we see the wider society. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. Mm.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay.
Ah. Ooh. Ooh.
I I.
I'm on the back and forth here. So it's saying civil liberties. So I'm assuming that that means us in America.
Yeah,
Some
like
our
privacy maybe.
Yeah, our rights are being curbed in the name of counterterrorism. So I'm going to disagree with that for now. I don't think that if it's in the name of keeping terrorists at bay, then I don't think our rights are necessarily being infringed upon, quote unquote. I think that we could be infringing on the rights of other people in other countries. For example, say
Right.
immigrants who want to come into our country for safety, but we're, you know, discriminating against them, saying you might be a terrorist, so you're not allowed in the country.
Yeah.
Um, Being that it's saying civil liberties, I think it means us as Americans.
Hmm.
What did you say?
I said disagree. Almost said agree, and I think you convinced me otherwise.
I convinced you.
Mhm.
A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay process in a democratic political system.
I mean,
Mm,
that's true, but it's also kind of like a dictatorship. So
that is true. So just when it says one-party state, is it talking about literally the 50 states, or does it mean like
I think it
globally?
means I think like in a country it's one party leading it.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah. I mean it's true because you wouldn't because it's just one party, but that's not a good thing to have. So
It is an advantage, but I don't know if I agree with
yes.
the advantage. Um, Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. Oh my God, we talked about this a little bit.
I agree.
I do agree as well. I put that.
Yeah.
And this was the whole thing where it's like, oh, domestic terrorists are putting themselves on Facebook, storming the Capitol, like they're being held accountable.
Ah, yeah,
Ba-bam, only wrongdoers need to be worried.
it's true.
That's pretty funny. You know what though? I think you could take this in a different stance though too. And let's say you're texting your weed dealer and weed is illegal in your state. Um,
Yeah.
if someone is surveilling you and uses that as evidence to say, "Hey, I saw you were purchasing weed," I think that could be bad too. Like if you're actively looking for people doing things wrong as opposed to trying to capture terrorists who did something wrong. Like I
Yeah,
don't know.
like if my FBI agent wants to see my Pornhub history, I don't use incognito mode. I want him
Oh,
to see it. I
oh,
want him to know the freaky shit I'm into. But that's like the worst thing I'm doing.
oh. That's true.
Yeah.
Anywho, the death penalty should be an option for the most serious cases or the most serious crimes. I put disagree. I don't agree with the death penalty.
I
Um,
don't either. I don't like it.
yeah. But the reason I didn't go strongly disagree though is because what if it's like Hitler? You never know. Um,
Yes. What if it is Hitler?
What if it's Hitler? In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded.
You see, I
Mm,
don't like the words obey and commanded.
yeah, that's why I'm disagreeing with this. I think in a civilized society, it is good to have leaders
Yeah.
who have the knowledge to be able to create laws and things like that to ensure that there's
Yeah.
order in a society. But I don't agree with this obeyed, commanded terminology.
Yeah, I think there should be a form of mutual understanding because, in a democratically elected society, they're leaders, but they're only because we put them there, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we chose them as our leaders. They work for us. That's my ideology as well. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all.
Well, what the
Hello?
fuck? How do you tell what abstract art represent? It's abstract.
That is the point of abstract. I like abstract art. I'm disagreeing with this.
Yeah.
In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than
Mm,
rehabilitation.
no, no,
Hello?
no, no, no,
I'm putting
no.
strongly disagree.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
is.
and the next
Oh,
question.
I'm also going to strongly disagree with that too. It says it is a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. I'm going to disagree with that. I think it is not a waste of time to rehabilitate criminals. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. Who did this? Who did this?
Pissing me off. That's what they're doing.
I put disagree. Um,
Same.
mothers may have careers, but their first
Come
duty is to be
on.
homemakers. No,
Oh.
strongly disagree. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. What? Wait, let me read this again. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing
Okay.
countries.
Okay. So this is what I think they mean. A lot of times when you have crop plants, and you want to kind of get like more growth out of them or like disease resistance or you want them to grow wider, taller, faster, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you go back to the evolutionary origin of where that plant comes from, and it's usually in countries that are not ours because a lot of the plants that we have are from when colonizers came over and they got it from someone else who got it from someone else. So they have to go back to these origins of evolution or whatever it's called, and then they pick out the more ancestral plants for their genetic diversity that they have because a lot of our stuff are monocultures. They're genetically not diverse.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's saying that companies like seed companies here go to these countries, steal their plants, and then bring them back to develop better plants. The problem is I've never heard of this being a problem.
Oh, hmm.
So I mean, I maybe that's because big seed company doesn't want you to know it's a problem. But I've
Right,
because when people do seed collections, they do plant collections. They're not taking whole fields of plants. They're taking like plant samples and bringing them back.
right. I'm inclined to
I
put
don't.
agree here anyway. Um, mostly because
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if these companies did abuse developing countries. Um,
Yeah.
Anywho, next question is making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. Um,
Old Republicans wrote that question.
Old Republicans wrote this question. I'm gonna put disagree here. Next page. Oh God, hello, no, oh no. This part is about religion. So astrology accurately explains many things. I'm gonna disagree. I don't really believe in astrology. I know some people do, and it's a big thing
Yeah.
in millennials and Gen Z, but I don't believe in it. You cannot be moral without being religious. I'm going to be disagreeing with a lot of these, am I? I put strongly disagree there. I think you can be very moral without being religious.
What are these questions?
Charity is better than social security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. Um, no, I don't agree again. What? That charity would that, that would be under the assumption that people would actually willingly give the disadvantaged money as
Yeah,
opposed
be
to
irritable. Yeah.
yeah. And I don't. I think people are greedier than that. Some people are naturally unlucky. Well, I'm gonna put disagree here.
I strongly disagree. That whole idea of luck, I can't stand anyway.
Yeah. I think if they're referencing, I am an unlucky person, everything bad happens to me. then I
Yeah.
don't agree with that strongly. But if they're
No.
referring to like people are born into some situations and they can't get out of it because they were born into that situation, then I can understand that. Um,
Yeah. I don't though. I don't think it's that. I mean,
well,
it would be nice if the question was more specific, but I don't think it's that
yeah, I mean, I think
personally.
that's kind of the point of these questions, though,
Yeah.
is to make you ponder. It is important that my child's school instills religious values. No, I don't care about that. Strongly disagree.
Finally, a look at sex.
Oh, finally, a look at sex, page 6. Okay. This is the last set of questions. Hopefully, we can get through this. Sex outside marriage is usually immoral. Usually, I like how they put usually in there. I'm going to put strongly disagree because I do it frequently and I am not married. Uh, oh no, a same sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption. So I think that's an agree there. I'm trying to
Yeah,
read it
yeah.
again.
Strongly agree. You want that same sex couple to get a child.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like reversing it on me somehow. Loving relationship should not be excluded from, yes, so strongly agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. Yeah, why not? Um,
Yeah.
and sex for money, if it's consenting adults, should also be legal. But anyway, uh,
Sex work.
sex work. What goes on in a private bathroom between consenting adults is no
Bathroom.
bathroom bedroom. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. I'll say strongly agree there as well. No one can
Your
naturally,
bathroom.
no one can naturally feel homosexual. Obviously, I strongly disagree that.
Naturally.
Naturally, these days, openness about sex has gone too far. Okay, strongly disagree there.
Yeah. All
All right,
right.
all right, that's the end. Now let's see where you stand. Where do we stand? Um,
I guess I got to scroll down. Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna skip this. All right, where am I on this scale?
It's all the way at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Let's scroll all the way. Okay. I'm on the bottom left of the square. My economic left slash right is a minus 6.25, and my social libertarian authoritarian is minus 6.36.
Ooh, I'm more left and liberal than you are. I'm a economic left right minus 7.25,
Ooh.
and I'm a social libertarian slash authoritarian minus 6.77.
Ooh. You know
So
what?
you're a
I
conservative Nazi,
no,
and
no.
I'm a socialist.
No, no. I think that makes sense though.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah, because you got that money and you don't want to be taxed on it.
Oh what my no, you can tax if my taxes go to socially beneficial programs that benefit people, then I will gladly have the government take my money.
Yeah.
But all of my taxes go to the military anyway. So what the fuck?
Ugh. Yeah.
Did you know that like a lot of our federal income taxes go
Yes.
to the military, and I don't agree with that.
And I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I hate it. Well, that was fun. How did you feel about that?
I mean, I've seen these tests before. I had a suspicion, just a sneaking suspicion, that I would be left libertarian. Um, but I think I did one of these when I was much younger, and I have gotten more left and more libertarian. So I'm not shocked. I mean, look at me. I'm gay,
Gay.
black nail polish, eyeliner, um, gay art behind me. I mean, this isn't surprising to anyone. So
I mean, we're on a podcast called "What Did the Gays Think" podcast, so I am not surprised at all
yeah, yeah, no, 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 no.
about
So,
this.
did you like it? What did you think?
I thought it was fun. I do think that it's a little bit more three-dimensional than these two axes that they've given us.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, everything is a lot more spectral. Everything exists on a spectrum in certain ways, and whether or not politics exists on these two axes, I think there's more axes than just these. But yeah, generally, I thought this was fun, and I think it. I mean, I agree with where it has put me.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. I don't think anyone taking this would be shocked at where they land. I just think it's a nice tool to just kind of be like, hey, this, kind of reaffirmed what I already knew.
Yeah, here's where we are.
Yeah.
I would love to see this data like populated, if everybody
Oh,
if everybody took this
yeah,
test across every
yeah.
state, I would be curious to see like what are the average numbers for each state.
Mm,
Like is
mm.
California like a -7, and then like a Texas is like a plus
Plus
5?
8.
I don't know. I think that'd be super
Um,
cool.
yeah, how about when we're doing compulsory attendance for schools, we do a compulsory political compass test?
Ooh. Make sure we collect
Hmm.
that data on everybody. Hee hee. That way we can
Yeah.
exploit them, and sell that data to the government. Anywho, that'll be the end of this episode of the What Do the Gays Think podcast. Thank you everyone so much for listening. If you don't follow us on Twitter, go ahead and give us a follow there. It's the easiest way to get notifications for when we post new episodes of the podcast. So our Twitter
Yes.
is WDTGT podcast. We also post fun memes, and we talk about some news articles that appear. So it's a fun time. So come give us a follow there. We also stream on Twitch every Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday. So come give us a follow
Yes.
there. Our Twitch is What Do the Gamers Think? GAYMERS. What do the gamers think? And if you're
Hmm.
on any podcast platform or if you're on YouTube, go ahead and like, subscribe, give us a rating, etc. We really appreciate those. And if you have any suggestions for any topics that you want us to talk about on the podcast, we will go ahead and do them. Go ahead and leave us a tweet. Again, that's WDTGT podcast.
Damn, you just ran the whole gambit.
Yeah, I'm really good at railing. Um, Anywho, that'll be the end of this episode. I am Matt Klubeck.
I'm an angry, liberal, homosexual man, Patrick.
Same.
Same.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.